says that really is basically against, but it can be put into this thing, and that is certainly true. To take one other example that most of us belong to, we are, most of us, I presume, university professors or teachers of some sort and so on. And unfortunately, our educational system is very, very far from being what we want, because most of the educational system is actually teaching obedience rather than challenge. Teaching to do rather than to challenge. And at one time I was told a story which happened, I don't know whether related to Pentagon or related to business or related to corporations in the United States, when one turned to another colleague and said, you know, I have a group of extremely clever, brilliant people, they don't think at all. So that was an idea, you know. I mean, they are brilliant, they can do whatever you want, and they will never challenge your opinion. And I think what we really want is constant challenging of the opinion, and that particularly is true in this case of money. Of course, concerning the important question of energy currency, I would really like to hear much more opinion about that, because as I said yesterday, just declaring that on a banknote rather than telling if you give this piece of paper you will get 1 gram of gold or whatever will be written, if you give this paper we guarantee you 20 kilowatt hours, this is not enough. This is definitely not enough. We need more, we need better. And I would like to see, coming from this audience, really, these ideas, and I would like to, and I'm looking forward to learn that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Bobia, and then we open for the public.
Let me just start with Schreiber's book. When he wrote the book in the early 60s, I think, a great journalist, he described how he visited owner of Mitsubishi, 90 years old gentleman, who had a microphone here. And the first thing owner of Mitsubishi told to Schreiber was, I have to apologize why I'm going to speak in microphone. I have to save my energy. So, being a human being, there's no higher value than energy. But we are not talking here of the human energy. We are talking here, I would say, of the bulk energy, or primary energy. So energy currency is something what I would definitely join. Evo, trying to learn more on it. Just how it's set here, it is shifting power from some entities which have a power today to some new entities. Nothing else. We know that we are not equally distributed when the primary energy is concerned. If we want, it depends what society we want to build. If we want to build a gay society where 10% of our world population is going to be happy, rich and everything, then no problem. You can shift it straight to Azerbaijan, Middle East, Russia, and so on. So this is how it's stated in this declaration. I'm not certain that that's the best definition of the economic values. It is just, in my view, shifting power from one society, from one entities, which have power today, to another entities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're open now for discussions. I propose we take 3 votes first, and then we give it to the panel. Please, you are. That's open.
Hello, good afternoon. Kieran Malloy is my name, from FASTA in Ireland. One question I'd like to put just to the panel, and it's really in relation to currency, because currency has been used to value to place, if you like, a monetary value on human activity. But I would like to point out that so much of the human activity is done within a community without any expectation of payment of any form. It's just done as a neighbourly gesture. And one of the concerns that I have is that often seeking to monetize rewards actually drives out altruistic type behavior that's carried out within a community. And it's, if you like, the hidden downside of trying to treat everything as a currency, whether it's an alternative currency or a complementary currency. And it's a comment I would like to make, and maybe some of the panel would like to comment on it.
It's okay. Thank you. Another question, Howard, please. Take the mic.
So, as to the last question asked to the panel, I think I'm somewhat disappointed about the discussion. Why? I think the first question to be answered is, do we need a reference point in the monetary system or systems, as there was one until 1971? So, this is a basic question. And available, this is basic to me. And then afterwards, if the answer is yes, okay, or no, when it's no, then discussion is over. When the answer is yes, then we need a reference point. Then one can discuss how that reference point has to look like before discussing about energy or stuff like that. So there are more options in principle. And that has to be clarified to my understanding. Yeah. So that should be it. I add to another point that is today and also a little bit in the panel, the notion of the nation has been repeated. The nation state is old, the 19th century. Many problems are not bound to the nation-state concept. Although that the United Nations is built on the nation-state, the nation has a legal entity, and we see what the United Nations can do. Yeah? So I cannot understand that in the discourse of money and regional, etc., that the concept of nation-state with a central bank is still present in the discussions. So I have their problem. So this is the question mark behind that. So that's all.
Thank you. Please.
So, Professor Grigori Vaygin is University of Economy and Finance in St. Petersburg, Russia. So, hello, Professor Grigori Vaygin, University. Professor Grigori Vaygin, University of Economy and Finance in St. Petersburg. I have a question about currency unions. Practically, we have now a big currency union, Eurozone, with all problems, and we have a few small currency unions, for example, so in America, so Caribbean, group in Africa, and we have many plans in Asia, Middle East, and so on to create currency unions practically based on the model of Eurozone. My question is, what do you mean? It's necessary, do we need such currency unions? And what do you think about their future?
Thank you. Now the panel. The question hasn't been understood, please. Very short.
So, my question is, what do you think about the future of all these plans connected with the creation of currency unions in Africa, in Asia, in South America, and so on? Do we need these unions, and what do you think about the future of these plans?
Though it's catched at least a bit, who wanted to answer? For all these questions.
Really, it depends what you like. It depends what you want to build. I personally feel that the major question today is, do we want to stick to the traditional values, or do we want to change values? We only know that religious values, especially in Europe, Christian values, are something which is not to practice. But other universal values, which have been defined by philosophers and others, I think they have to be re-examined. That's the answer to your question. Do we need to build modernly? I'm not going to discuss your second point. That's identity. We are all, and we don't appreciate that every one of us, every human being has many identities, depending on the situation. But in my feeling, in contemporary world, the major identity is professional identity, not national identity, not sports identity, not computer identity, and so on. We have to change our opinion. We have to live knowing to work something. We spend most of our life doing professional work. So I'm not ashamed to say, I don't know my country, I don't know my nationality, but I am by my identity first engineer and scientist. And that's something we have to clear. Talking on the nationality, talking on the close boundaries, that's past. We have all granddaughters, some of us have a young children. My granddaughter is only 5 years old. She's a computer fan, 5 years old. Her identity now is computer games, nothing else. And we have to think in that way.
Thank you. It's now Michael and then Margaret.